Okay, hello and welcome. You're watching another 24/7 live TBC broadcast on what does eliminating poverty look like. My name is Paul and this is episode 68 and today's date is June 15th, 2018. TBC is short for the Billion Coin. It's a cryptocurrency. It's been out for 2 years. So it came out March 21st of 2016. And the difference between the Billion Coin and all the other coins on the market exchange, like Bitcoin, Litecoin, Ethereum, and all the others, is that the Billion Coin is not on a trading market. It was specifically designed or intended never to be on a trading market, because a market is the central banking system's system of manipulating wealth. They created Wall Street. They created the stock market, commodities market. They create the markets, including the coin market cap market. Okay. And when Bitcoin came out, which was the first cryptocurrency in 2009, 2010, it started to pick up and then went from there. It started to be traded among the payment processors, and they kind of turned into exchanges by the way it looks. And then more coins would come out using that same technology that Satoshi Nakamoto had created, called the blockchain platform. But it's just all technology based on this platform called blockchain. And it's all encrypted. So that's why they call it cryptocurrency. And this is or was a fabulous invention that was obviously caused by the internet. You know, the more the internet technology increases, the more people are able to find things to use and to create using the internet to make things better. You know, it's just, that's the way technology is. It doubles every 18 months. So things that come out over the centuries and the decades, like when the light bulb was invented, right? It's only gotten better. It never went away. It just got better. That's what the blockchain technology has done since 2009. It's just gotten better. So now here we are, 2018. It's been almost 9 years. And well, it has been 9 years. And the blockchain technology is better. And we're going to see even more things being able to be used by that technology. It's not going away. And our coin, the Billion Coin, the creators of our coin, it's a team effort. They're anonymous, but they stay in contact with us because we have a mission. And in order to fulfill that mission, we need constant communication between all of us. So it is a private community. It's another thing that's different than all the other cryptocurrencies. Those cryptocurrencies are created to be an option, being as they are on a market and can be manipulated by the wealthy. They are still real money. So they are an option to protect your current wealth if your wealth is all in fiat currency, like the US dollar or the euro, or any country you're in where the cash is not backed up by anything of value. That's complete fiat currency. It's not even money. What makes it worse is that here in the United States, well, in just about every country, at least in the past, here in America since 1913 straight without any interruptions, is that this money doesn't belong to the people anymore. Okay? It's went against our Constitution. We were betrayed by the central banking system and their power to buy people, politicians. So we turned our money, we meaning the government of America, the United States of America, turned its monetary system over to a private bank called the Federal Reserve Bank. They named themselves federal, but it has nothing to do with the government. It was just to fool the people. Okay? They call it the Fed. When you hear that word, the Fed, that's the Federal Reserve. Most of us know that here in America. It's a private banking system. So they own the money. And they have since 1913, when the Federal Reserve Act was passed by Woodrow Wilson 3 days after he took office. He was the one that betrayed us, and he had a lot of help. Teddy Roosevelt helped him too because he messed with that election against Taft, who was running for a second, term. Okay, so against our Constitution, we turned our money over to a private bank. They turned around, they lent the government money, their money, the Federal Reserve note, and they charged interest on the government paying them back. This is how they took control of our country in 1913, and they haven't been out of control for 105 years. They did it a couple of times before, but it was gotten rid of. And then in 1913, it hasn't been able to get rid of because their structure and their strength was so powerful by that point, we weren't able to. Okay, plain and simple, we weren't able to. A couple presidents tried, it didn't work. But now is different. See, now we're in this technology era, this era of information. And we do have now, because of blockchain technology, the power to take our money back. And we see it happening worldwide, not just with cryptocurrency, but with countries who have just rebelled against the central banking system because it has just enslaved the people of those countries. In those countries, there's patriots in every country, and they want their freedom back. So Russia is one of those countries, and they were the first to go ahead and back up their ruble with gold and kick the central bankers out of their country. Of course, that made Russia the big enemy of the world, not the world's people, okay, but the deep state and the central banking system. So they own the mainstream media, they own the corporate media, so they put out the propaganda that Russia is our enemy. And the people, if they don't do their homework, they believe what they hear. It's just like what happened in 1971 here in America. When Nixon was made president, he took our money off the gold standard. Okay, and the propaganda came out that there was speculators out there that were messing with the gold prices. And the central bank said, hey, we've got to, this thing is really causing havoc, and we've got to, get a handle of this. So we're going to go off the gold for a few years, and then we'll bring it back when we've got it all straightened out. That's the short story of it. So from 1971 on, they created the petrodollar. That's what it turned into, okay? The problem was that dollar had no value from that point on. Okay, it was complete fiat currency. Now, because it was complete fiat currency starting in 1971, it was only a matter of time before it would get out of control. They have never put the gold back onto the money. And this has been the problem over the last, 40 years? All we've seen is massive inflation and horror, not just in our country, America, but throughout the world. Because the central bankers basically have owned as much of the world as they've been able to. But things are changing, right? Russia is not owned by the central bankers anymore. They kicked them out. Okay, so Russia's an enemy of the central banking system. They turn around and they put out the propaganda through the news, just like they did in 1971, telling us all those lies. And then they turned around in 73 and they said, well, now we've run out of oil. Sorry, guys, but we'll get this fixed. Okay. And anyway, China followed Russia. They took their gold and they purchased it and purchased it and purchased, just like Russia. And any gold that they had access to, they got it back into their country and they backed their yuan with gold. And they don't want to use the US dollar to purchase their oil anymore. They're the highest consumers of oil in the world. Okay, over 1 billion people in China. So they purchased most of all their oil from other countries. But they've always used the US petrodollar. Not anymore. Okay, they're using their Chinese yuan because it's more valuable and more powerful than that silly US federal dollar, Federal Reserve note. Okay, so what does this all have to do with the billion coin? Well, the billion coin's mission with those creators of our coin was to create a coin that they had a small amount of control in how the coin was distributed among the people of this earth. Their mission is to eliminate global financial poverty. How do you do that? You get money into the hands of every human being on this planet. Enough money, real money, that nobody's financially poor anymore. It's just that simple. Or is it? It takes effort. It takes work. It takes a little bit of time. But we've never been in this position in the history of our planet. Well, at least the history of mankind, right? So, here we are in 2018. Our coin has been out for 2 years. 2 years ago, the creators of our coin started out with 100 to 171 people, called them stakeholders. They vetted these individuals. These individuals were like-minded with them, the creators. They believed in the mission. They were allowed a certain amount of coins, and at the beginning of any coin, the coins are dirt cheap. They were 1/10 of a penny. Okay, so they purchased a certain amount of coins they were allowed to purchase among them. And then admin, which is what we call this team of creators, admin. In fact, we've even given him a name, Kris Kringle. We've given him a name, Kris Kringle, for a couple of reasons. First of all, he or someone, one of the creators, communicates to the rest of our community through a blog system. So every day he posts his blog postings, 1, 2, 3, 4, 10 a day. Whatever it is that he's got to get across to us, we have it. We are a real community, and it is awesome. Okay, I had gotten involved in BTC, well, the Bitcoin, at the end of 2016, was continuing to do research on it when I came across the billion coin. And I said, what is this? Because it's not on a market. I've never seen TBC. I've seen BTC, that stands for Bitcoin. You know, I see ETH, that stands for Ethereum. I see whatever, XRP for Ripple, whatever they are. But I didn't see TBC. Okay, so I went ahead and watched the video on YouTube, and the rest is history. Okay, so because I was a like-minded individual, okay, that's just the way I've always been. I've always never understood why there's poverty, but actually I did understand it because I understood what the entire central banking system was. Okay, I was raised knowing and becoming aware because of my mother, of all people, was really into that. And I was interested in it because she was interested in it. And that's just the way I was. I'm still a very curious individual. More curious so than my brothers. I have 3 brothers. None of them were really interested in the central banking system. The Rothschilds, what are you talking about? You know, Rockefellers, well, who's, you know. So, but there I was reading all the books that my mom would bring home. Okay. So I understood it, but we couldn't do anything about it. Okay. We just couldn't. And the powers were beyond what we could do. But they're not that way anymore. And countries are proving it by just, you know, opening your eyes and reading the newspaper. I'm just kidding. Reading the news online, on your phone, on TV, whatever you're doing, your tablets. But don't believe the mainstream media, ABC, NBC, CBS, even Fox, okay? But Fox can still have a lot of truth on it. They haven't completely gone over to the other side, but you still get, you know, it's still a mainstream media. But you can get a lot of truth from Fox, but do other research and find independent sources of media that are not bought and paid for by the central banking system. Independent, okay? And you'll find it real easy. You can just do a search on YouTube and find them, because there's people talking about it every day. Okay, right there on YouTube. You know, don't ask me why YouTube allows it, but because they're all, you know, bought and paid for. They're owned by Google. Okay, but the point is, they think they're so strong that nothing matters. And anyway. Back to TBC, once the admin sold their original coins, their first coins, the way they did to those stakeholders, then anybody who wanted to purchase TBC coins or a division of the coins, which, you know, if you're into cryptocurrency, you know, they can be divided by 100 million. So in Bitcoin, they call those Satoshis. Okay, with us, the billion coin, we call those Kringles, because we call admin Kris Kringle because he's like Santa Claus. He gives the gift away. And the reason he gives the gift away, I'm going to go off again a little bit, but I'll get back to what happened with after the initial sell of those original stakeholders. But the reason why he gives them away, we give them away. We don't give them away from our wallets or our coins that we own. He does, okay? He owns all the coins, okay? And his job is to get us to distribute those coins throughout the world, okay? So the algorithm that our coin is based on, since it's not based on simply supply and demand and proof of work, it's based on an algorithm. Unlike the other cryptocurrencies, this algorithm values our coin based on members, human beings. It values the value of the coin by the value of us. This is very, very powerful. Okay. So the way it started out was every person that would just simply join our community. They didn't even have to buy any Kringles or coins or anything. If they just joined for free with their name and an email address, and I think it asks for what country you're in and a password, you create a password, then that raised the value of one of our coins by €1. Every person that came in raised it by another euro. Okay? Because everybody was familiar with the euro, everybody's familiar with the US dollar. We know what that is. Okay? So it made sense for them to base it on the euro. So we grew in that first 12-month period from March 2016 to March 2017, which is when I got involved, by 100,000. Okay, so it went from 171 to 100,000. Anybody who wanted to purchase coins and Pringles had to purchase it from those 171. Then those people turned around and could sell it if they wanted to others, depending on how much they bought and how much they owned, right? Because here was a coin where the algorithm raises the price every time someone comes in. So what does that do? Well, it makes the coin go up in value every single day, because every day new people join our community. Okay, so the price of our coin, unlike any coin that's on a market, never goes down. It never takes a dip. It just goes up every day. When does it end? Well, that's part of the algorithm. We call it the billion coin for a couple of reasons. Actually, originally 3 reasons. First reason was there was only going to be 1 billion coins made. Okay, an example would be Bitcoin. When it came out as the first coin, their max was 21 million coins. 21 million coins is all there's ever going to be mined and created in Bitcoin. Okay, and that was good at the time, very good at the time, and wise of this Satoshi Nakamoto guy. He needed a coin where it was real enough to quickly move up in value and become more real to the people who it was so brand new to create confidence in us, the people who were finding out about it and would purchase some and start to use it among ourselves. This is what happened. Okay, of course, I found out about it way back in 2011, and I thought it was crazy. I don't know why, but I'm not techie enough, and I just wasn't at the time ready to find out about it. I just thought it was a scam or something. Okay. So, but in 2016, it was so popular because there were so many coins out by that time. I said, wow, I better take a look at this because this is not going away. And so that's how I got involved. And then that's how I discovered the billion coin. So there's only going to be 1 billion coins made. That's your supply and demand right there. The second reason why we call it a billion coin is because the algorithm is going to max the price out when we reach our first 1 billion members. Okay, so there's a second reason why we called it the billion coin. The price maxes out, goes up in value every member until we reach our first 1 billionth member. And then it stops. The price never goes up and it never goes down. It just stays right there. Okay. Now, the third reason was because we started out basing it on the euro. €1 per member would raise the price up, right? By the €1. So if we end up with our first 1 billion members, okay, then the price of the coin would max out at €1 billion per coin. So there was the third reason why we called it the billion coin. But now it's been 2 years. We grew to 100,000 the first 12 months. So in 12 months, our coin was worth 100,000 euros, the most expensive coin in the world. Okay, real money. Let's put it that way. Okay. So when I got involved was right after their first year anniversary. Okay. Then admin came out with that gift. And he told us, okay, now you guys can give this gift away. And I'm going to, when he says it's his team, we're going to give you guys a back office, okay, a duplicatable back office, which it will have your name and your information on it. And you can have control over, we can feed you information, we can tell you about our promos. We need to have this in order to keep our community cool and tight and informed and gung-ho. Not just a blog. We need you guys to have control of certain things. And these promos, you guys have to have control. So you will have your own URL, your own link that will be your custom link. Whatever your username is, it will say kringle.cash/ like mine is Paul Fisher or Paul Fisher 69. And when you hand that out, and when someone goes there, they are allowed to register. Okay. And when they register with the Kringle Cash to get their free gift, whatever the gift was when it started out, it's continually, well, I'll explain that in a second, but it's just amazing. Okay, so they get their free gift, which has to be put into a wallet, and it's the wallets that we control. Okay, that's where we kept the control, is by controlling the wallet system. So that way we know and we can control who buys our coin. We don't let the rich come in and buy what they want like they could with Bitcoin. That's how they manipulate the price of Bitcoin. That's how they did it last year. And they've still been doing it this year, although there's been some other things involved now, which I could talk about because it's very, very interesting what's going on with Bitcoin right now. But don't let me get off the subject of what I'm going on, and I'll try to remember to come back to that. But so where was I? The gift. Okay. So it allows you to have them register and be connected to you. So you can help them. You can help educate them. You can keep them involved, and you can help them to tell their, to give their links to their family members, their friends, anyone they love and care about, that they want to enrich and create wealth for them. Because that's what we're doing. We're creating wealth among our members fairly evenly. Okay. Which is something that cryptocurrencies on the market cannot do. Okay. So there's limitations with all those coins on the market. There's no limitations with ours. We were the first, and we're not going to be the last. There's another coin coming out next year that will be just like ours. Okay. Which just goes to validate us, because this company is huge. Okay. It's the Telegram messaging service. It's a completely free app. They got 200 million people after 5 years chatting away on that free app. And now they know, hey, we've got the people. Now we're going to bring out a coin. And that coin is going to be based on the people. But it's a slight bit different algorithm than ours. And quickly, I'll just explain that difference. Theirs is going to be every time a purchase is made by someone, it raises the value of their coin just a fraction, because you can divide a coin by 100 million. So it doesn't raise it up very much, but just a pinch. And the next person buys it at that higher price. And then it goes up. And then the next person buys it at a higher price. Okay? So it's perfect. Why? It's an abundance-based coin like ours. Why? Because it never goes down in value, see? Every day, people are purchasing, and it's raising the price up. And I don't know the details about all the rest of it, but that's how the algorithm is based. That's what's going to make it an abundance-based coin like ours. It's going to be the second abundance-based coin. Okay. So we came out with this duplicatable website for everyone. Like they were, like we were into referral marketing or something. I call it referral distribution, okay? Because our job is really, we're in the distribution phase. That's what we do. We're distributing the coin. That's our job. I mean, we don't have to, but what's the point of being involved in a coin that's based on the value of people getting it in their hands if we don't get the coin in their hands? Okay. So last year when I got involved and the admin came out with that free gift thing, I said, wow, this is great. Okay, because he's the one giving the coins out. It was just a pinch of Kringles. I think it was 100,000 Kringles. Okay, at that time, with 100,000 people only, it was worth less than $20 because he gave it to all of us, including the 100,000 that was already there. We all got this back office for free. Okay, he didn't charge. He's never charged us anything. They are completely self-funded. Okay, that's why it's not a scam. Once he sold to those original 171 people, like I said, he stepped back and he doesn't sell any coins. Okay, they're just sitting there in his wallet. And the only way you can get coins is through a member who has come in and gotten involved and has purchased some coins, and they have enough that they're willing to sell some. Okay, there's two things right there that make you know without a shadow of a doubt that this is not a scam. Not to mention, the coin is on a legitimate blockchain platform, which has had just the same amount of troubles as Bitcoin has had in getting, slowed down with too many transactions. Okay, even though we're not on a trading exchange, and therefore you would think we wouldn't, because every trade is a transaction. So that's what happened with Bitcoin, being as they were the most popular coin on the market. So they're being traded the most. But we were just doing so many regular peer-to-peer among ourselves, purchasing and buying things from each other with Kringles, that it slowed the system down. But admin was already prepared for that, and they had started to build a brand new 2.0 blockchain platform with super speeds when it comes to transactions. We need to be able to do transactions, not we, but any coin that wants to be a solution to the problems in the world needs to be able to transact just as fast as you can with a plastic card, with Visa or MasterCard, right? And I'll show you, or I'll tell you real quick, the difference with the transaction speeds. Bitcoin right now can transact between 7 and 10 is what they're averaging per second. Transactions everywhere in the world, only 7 to 10 per second. They can get up to about 16 per second before they run into trouble again. Okay, we saw what happened last year. They had to create what they call a fork, and create a new coin called Bitcoin Cash. And that helped them overcome that, and little crisis they had there for a while. But we went through the same thing last year. Okay, but the transactions that Visa and MasterCard can do is they're averaging 2,000 per second. Okay, because they're not going through a blockchain. It's just digital, bam, 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 as fast as electricity, right? And the servers can handle. So, and they can get up to probably 6,000 per second before they'd run into any kind of trouble. But it very rarely gets that high. And this is worldwide. Okay, but any coin that needs to be a solution needs to operate that fast. And so that's what we've done, is we've created a 2.0 blockchain platform that has the speeds like that. So it's a game changer. We're the first to have it, as far as we know. Otherwise, you'd be hearing about it, okay? And you'd be using that coin. And that's the reason why we're doing these live broadcasts every day, is to get the information out. Because how else are we going to do it? Put an ad on TV? No. This is word of mouth. Same as Bitcoin was. Word of mouth. Except when they got on a trading exchange, that greatly helped popularize their coin, because all kinds of people play with markets. And when they realized, oh, here's another market, and it's all this cryptocurrency that we've been hearing about. Wow, I can make some money. I'm pretty good at this. And, that's the way it worked. So it was good in that sense. It was just bad that basically they gave up their control. Well, they really didn't have much control. Okay, Satoshi Nakamoto had to walk away just a couple of years after he created it to give confidence to the people that he would never make any changes. So it was very smart in what he did. But the point was, he created it, he got it going, and it's a success. It's real money. It is an option to protect your current wealth. If you have your current wealth in fiat currency, which most likely you do, because most of us don't own a bunch of gold and silver. And if we do, we don't have access to it. We could if we went over someplace, wherever it's being stored. But if a crisis happened and those places shut down and didn't let us get their gold and silver, it's like a bank holiday. When a bank has a holiday, they close down and people can't get their money. Well, their currency, right? So we always tell people, have a little bit of gold on hand, have a little bit of silver, have something of value. Have a little bit of that fiat cash, because if the banks do close, at least you'll have some fiat cash. You can still go to the store and buy some food, even though the inflation will be unreal at that time. But we hope to avoid all that, okay? Countries are out there and transitioning their systems, and they're not having to go through a horrible transition. But here in America, the central banking system sits. Their throne is here in America. It used to be in London, right? But now the throne of complete power is here in America with the Federal Reserve Banks and the United Nations and so on. The deep state, all the intelligence agencies, the CIA and NSA, all of that, plus worldwide. Okay, so it's very, very strong here, and they know that their system of complete fiat currency, not backed by anything, only has so many years of existence before it's out of control and it has to come down. Or they got to go back and put gold behind it. So that's what's happening. 40 years, it happens every 40 years since 1913. Okay, the first time it happened was in World War II, right after World War II. Okay, and then it started again in 71, and it's been 40 years. It's going to happen again. Okay, and we see it all around us. We see the horror. Of course, the mainstream media is telling us, and even Trump comes out and tells us, hey, everything's great. Okay, because he is putting out that particular false news in order to keep the central banking system and the deep state into believing that he's going along with their plan, even though they really know he's not. But he is going along to keep. That's the whole plan. Okay, you just have to trust us. Trust us. Who are we? We're the patriots, not just in America, but all around the world. We are the ones that are fighting to get our money back into our hands so we can own the politicians, not a central banking system, which is owned by a few people who have control over the entire wealth of the world. We're changing that. We're taking it back. We're taking our wealth back. We're taking our countries back. Not by war. You'll notice it's by peace. But we're doing it, and we're going to have our money. We're going to have our own politicians. We're going to have our own government again, and we're going to go back to the Constitution. Okay, God willing. And obviously, none of this would be happening without God. So we see the hand of God in this, and we're just going along with his plan. So in that sense, the central bankers are done. Okay? They're done. But they're panicking right now, and they don't want to give up their power. Would you, if you were them? No. So they're not going to go down without a fight. The only thing they can do to hang on to the narrative is to back up their current Federal Reserve note with gold and then point the finger at Trump and the Patriots and say, they're the ones that brought this system down. We're going to save the country and we're going to back our Federal Reserve note by gold. And that could happen. We don't want that to happen because they'd still be in control. And eventually over the years, they'd take that gold away from us again. Okay. But what Trump and the Patriots, what we're doing is we want to control that narrative. We're going to come out with a new currency backed by gold. It has to. That's what these countries are doing. What, are we not going to do it? Of course we're going to do it. We have our own gold right here in our own country. Okay, Venezuela is a prime example of what's happening or what can happen. Okay. All right, so let's just concentrate on America right now, because that's where I live. And Trump and the Patriots are going to come out with a new cash system backed by gold. But here's the thing, whoever controls the narrative is going to win, whether it's the central bankers or whether it's Trump and the Patriots. We obviously wanted to be Trump and the Patriots. Okay. So how can we do that? Well, guess what? The Federal Reserve is a private bank. Private banks can be audited. Okay? Guess what? The Federal Reserve, since they came into existence in 1913, has never been audited. Why? Because they have so much power that they have been able to stop anybody from auditing them until now. Okay? So Trump has already written up an auditing bill. And when the timing is right, he's going to get that passed through the Congress. And we are going to audit the Fed. And then we're going to take all that information about what the Fed has been doing to the world all these decades and show it to the world. And that will be the end of the central banking system. Okay? Either way, though, folks, we're going to see a crash in the economy. It has to come down because it's not our economy. It's not the people in America's economy. It's the Federal Reserve central banking system's economy. So it has to go down. Okay, and we've seen crashes. We saw it in 2000 with the tech crash. We saw it in 2008 with the real estate boom. The bubble busted. We saw people lose everything, their homes, their investments in the stock market, their retirement funds. They were telling us everything was great right when it happened, just like they're doing right now. And guess what? That real estate bubble is higher than it was in 2008. It's higher today. Right now, it's higher than it was in 2008. If you don't think it's going to bust, think again. Okay? It's going to burst. That's what bubbles do. Okay? So the system has to come down. Even the central market knows it has to come down. So they want to keep the narrative, blame it on Trump, back their cash up, buy gold, and save the world. Save themselves. Okay? It's not going to happen. Trump's going to hang on to the narrative. Okay? We've been planning this for a long time, friends. So what does all this have to do with our coin? Well, our coin is a cryptocurrency. Like other cryptocurrencies, can be used as an option. It's real money. Oh, and that's one thing I'll just touch on real fast here. A couple of days ago, the SEC chairman, okay, that's the Securities and Exchange chairman. Those are the individuals that control, the investments of the country, the stock markets and all that, so that nobody can run a scam on the people. So the chairman came out a few days ago and he said, actually it was about 10 days ago, and said that cryptocurrencies, and then he mentioned like Bitcoin, are not a security. Why? Because they're real money. So there's no regulation needed for cryptocurrency Bitcoin. Okay, he specifically mentioned Bitcoin. Bitcoin can be used by the people as money. Now this came from the SEC, chairman, the Securities and Exchange chairman. Just came out and admitted to the world that cryptocurrency is not only real, but it's money. Okay, then a couple of days ago, he comes out and he tells it that Ethereum is the same. Okay, now we've looked at Ethereum, and Ethereum is not a security. It's money. No regulations on it. Anybody can use it. We're going to look at all the coins and make sure that they're correct in being used as money. And the main thing that they look at is the ICOs, the initial coin offerings that come out. Because an initial coin offering is when a person develops a new coin. They call it a token. And they have this sale like an initial public offering. Okay, an IPO on a company that's going to go on to the stock market. Okay, that's when an ICO is up. It's, you know, a coin, an initial coin offering. So these investors come in and they purchase these tokens as an absolute, we're going to make money when these tokens get put onto the exchange market. We're absolutely going to make money, at least double is what's been going on as the average when that happens. Okay, an ICO, because they're set up like that, they are a security. They have to go to the Security Exchange Commission, fill out forms, get it all set up legally as an ICO with tokens, and then they do the business. This protects the investors. Okay, so they're not scams when you do your homework and you find out that that's what an ICO has done. Now, anybody can just come out on the internet and say, I have a token, I'm having an ICO, you know, come on, get involved. And if people don't do their homework, they can throw their money at it and then it just goes away because it was a whole scam from the beginning. So please, people, understand what these things are. Get a little bit of education before you throw money at anything. I'm not a financial planner. I'm not a financial advisor. Don't do anything that I advise or recommend, and I'll try not to. Okay? I just do my own homework and then I do my thing. Okay? But go to a financial planner to find out these things about how to deal with cryptocurrency, deal especially with ICOs, or anything else you're interested in, to perhaps create an option to protect your wealth. Okay, now, that was very interesting. And it's huge, actually. It's just huge, people. So this is the future. It's actually happening right now. It's like the internet when it first came out in 1990, I think it was. And nobody knew too much about what the internet was or how it could be used or its potential. So it was very slow in growing. But by the mid-90s, people were pouring in by the masses. 5 years later, people were pouring in left and right. And then internet just grew crazy over the next 5 years till it matured basically by 2000. After that, it just went nuts. Okay. After that, technology has just increased and made it better. But it had matured by 2000. Okay. And of course, after 2000, we saw the search engines come out. We saw social media. It just went nuts. Okay. 18 years later, we're just having a blast with the technology, aren't we? Okay. That's what's happening right now with cryptocurrency. Steve Wozniak, the co-founder of Apple, said we're right in that mid-90s area with cryptocurrency. The masses are coming into cryptocurrency right now, and in another 5 years, it's going to be matured. That doesn't mean it's going to get started 5 years from now, right? The internet didn't get started in 2000. It got started in 1990. Okay? So I'm just giving you a heads up. If you don't already know, which you should, if you wouldn't be watching this video if you weren't already convinced that cryptocurrency was real and you wanted to find out what I had to talk about, which was the billion coin. Okay, because we have a mission to eliminate global poverty and we're going to get it done. And that's just one system, friends. It's one money, cryptocurrency that the whole world will be using. The whole world will be using Kringles. There will be no more poverty. The people will have money. The people will have control. The people will do everything. The people will build what needs to be built. They'll take care of whoever needs to be taken care of. They will do everything. they will have total and complete freedom just with our coin. Now, if the countries are continuing to do what they're doing and they're backing their money systems by gold, the same thing will happen, okay? Except those central bankers are always going to keep their eyes open for a way to get back into control. So we can't ever let them. But what's going to happen is they're never going to be able to, because countries can literally create their own cryptocurrency and have it under their control and use that cryptocurrency in their country and even back it by gold if they wanted to. They wouldn't need to, but they can do it. That's what's happening in Venezuela. That's what's happening in Venezuela. If you know what's going on in Venezuela, they've got a socialist government. They've had it for years, okay? And they weren't going along with the central banking system. They weren't going along with their agenda. And the central banker said, okay, fine, you're using the US dollar. We're going to give you sanctions on it so that you can't sell your oil until you do what we tell you to do. And they starved the people to death. And that's the evil of these few people that run the world. If you don't believe me, we have 7.6 billion people in the world. How many of those 7.6 billion people in the world are billionaires? 2,200 and some change. Okay, 2,200 billionaires out of 7.6 billion people. Okay, I'm going to read something in just a second here. I know I've been talking for an hour already, but it's very, very interesting. It's an old blog, but it just reminded me of it. And but anyway, you know something's wrong. You know that's why the world is in the chaos that it is. Something's going on. And there's a few people that own the money. Okay, now I'm not saying all 2,200 and whatever it is, 43 or whatever, individuals are all evil, but most of them are. Okay, and it's just common sense and logic because we see what's going on. If they were all good people, we'd see a whole different world. Because then it doesn't just take 1 billion to be a billionaire, but you can be like Jeff Bezos and have 120, 30 billion dollars and still be doing nothing with it. Okay. Okay. But then you've got the central bankers who we have no clue how much money they have. They don't post it on Forbes, top 400 richest people in the world. You're not going to find central bankers on there. Okay. So in Venezuela, got these sanctions and the people starved to death. So the government came out with their own cryptocurrency, their own coin. And they called it the petrol coin because that's what they had of value and their people knew they had oil, all this oil. And they said, we'll back it by our oil. We'll call it the petrol coin. Please use it. And some of the people started to use the coin. But it wasn't making sense. Because they kept saying, hey, we can't sell the oil. So how can we really trust this coin? How can we put all our faith in this coin you guys are giving us when it's based on something that we can't sell? Okay, the government said, let's back it with gold. What are you talking about? We have our own gold, citizens of Venezuela. We have repatriated it. We have it right here in our own country. So instead of backing it by oil, we'll back it by gold. Maybe they backed it by both. I don't know. But they just threw in the gold. Guess what? It's going to be backed by gold. What do you think about that? And the people said, okay, now you're talking. Now you're talking. And the people are using that coin. In fact, they're using it so much, they have so much faith in it that change is happening in that country like you wouldn't believe. Not only that, but now they're making deals with the Palestinians. They have found a way with cryptocurrency blockchain technology to get around the sanctions, to get around the central banking system's horrible, evil power. They're getting their freedom back. This is why countries are watching and they're saying, good heavens, look what Venezuela is doing. That means we can do it. Okay? The more money systems out there in the world, the better for the people of this planet. The more wealth, the better, because we are a very, very abundant planet. We have more than enough for 3 times the amount of people that are currently living on this earth. Not what the central bankers tell you, because they want to depopulate the earth so that they can better control the people. So they come out with all these myths, global warming, climate change, whatever they come out with, where they can, get some money out of you, scare you, create emotion in you, fear, and then they've got you. Gotcha. Okay. So the billion coin is going to change that just by itself. Anything else is more than welcome. Okay. But we're just doing it with a coin. So we're asking everybody that believes in abundance, anybody that desires to get rid of poverty, the horrors that come with poverty. Now, the title of this video and the titles of the videos for the last 8 or 9 videos has been, what does eliminating poverty look like? So I always try to touch a little bit on that in my broadcast, because there's so much that abundance can eliminate. When you have crime that's motivated by lack, it's motivated by a lack of money. So people will go rob you for your tennis shoes, for your watches, for your purses, for your cars, for anything you've got in your homes, and they'll kill you for it. Okay, now imagine if all of these people had money. Everybody had money. Nobody was poor. Nobody had any motivation to rob anybody. I've got plenty enough for myself. Why do I need to rob somebody else? I can go buy whatever car I want. So can they. I don't have to go down the block and look at those cars and say, you know what? I'm never going to be able to buy a car like that. Not me. Who am I? I'm a nobody. I'm just living here in the hood. And all I can do is look and wish and dream, and it's never going to happen. We want to take that away from people. It is evil. It is evil. In a world that's full of abundance, a world that can make all the cars they want, any kind of car they want, any kind of house they want, any kind of anything they want. And we don't know it because we've been brainwashed into believing there's a lack. There's scarcity in the world. That's what these bankers want you to think, because they want all that wealth in their control so that they can control you and they can do their evil. Okay, logic, common sense, and just having your eyes open a little bit, and you know it, even if you don't want to know it, because we don't like looking at those horrible things. We don't even want to comprehend what's going on out there. But we hear about it and we just go, those are conspiracy theories, or that can't really be happening. People aren't that evil. But if there's a lot of people on this world that have seen it, okay? And it's messed with them. But a lot of them, God has given them the strength to deal with it. Not only that, but God has given them the strength to do something about it. Thank God that God is. And of course, God is in control of everything. So we see things changing in the world today. And we, the Billion Coin, are a solution, not just an option to protect your wealth, but we're a solution to poverty and the horrors that come with poverty, like crime, like disease that's associated with poverty, lack of clean water, lack of nutrient-dense food, lack of plumbing, okay? Lack. We're getting rid of it. So the world is going to change, and it is changing, and we need you, and we're asking you to come on board. Okay, all it is it's a free registration still, but now we charge $10. The admin said, hey, all these gifts we gave out last year, the people just didn't pay attention because they didn't give it any value. It cost them nothing. It was free. Okay. And even though it started out like less than $20 that we were handing out, because we only had 100,000 people back then, it grew to 3 million in 1 year. So the value went up from like $20 to like, I don't know, especially since we switched over to gold. Oh, did I mention that? I'm sorry. I'm sorry. By the way, we don't use the euro to value our coin anymore. We use gold. Okay. Just a couple of months ago, we switched over to gold. Now, how does that work? Oh, by the way, that increased the value of that gift to like, if you had gotten it a year ago, I don't know, I think it's around $14,000. Okay, it's way up there. $14,000 sitting in their wallets. And we're migrating over to a new blockchain platform. So if they don't migrate, they're going to lose those coins. But they can come back in and get the current gift, which is, I think, 25,000 compared to 100,000. We were given 100,000, then we gave 50,000, then we started giving 25,000. And we're going to give that until we're done with the first billion people. So what is 25,000 gringos worth today? With our membership, it's worth $2,100. We're giving away free $2,100. Well, it's not free anymore. We are charging you $10 so that you will pay attention to what we're giving you. $10 is a heck of a leverage to $2,100 in gringos. Okay? So not only that, but we include that back office that originally was free for 30 days. And then those of us who really wanted to give that gift out, we volunteered. He said it's going to cost $10 after that for a whole year. It's an annual fee, $10. Okay, fine. You know, I understand what this coin is. I understand that the more I get it out into people's hands, the sooner I'll be able to use it, you know, everywhere as real money, because it is real money. So a lot of us paid our $10, those of us who understood. And that was no problem, but it was an option. It wasn't, admin didn't insist on it until now. Now that we're migrating over, we have this new opportunity for a lot of different things. And we've created an awesome system. It vets out the people, meaning, what does that mean? Vet out the people, Paul? Well, when you sign up now, before you spend that $10, which is an annual fee, it also includes a free wallet with no transactions, no transaction costs. I'm sorry, no transaction fees ever. Okay, you can make 100 transactions a day and never be charged anything for it. Okay, we are the exact opposite of everything you've been known your whole life. Okay, we are abundant-minded people. And we're looking for abundant-minded people. We're not looking for selfish-minded, scarcity-minded. We're not looking for greedy-minded. We're looking for the opposite. Okay, so now when you come in, you sign up, and before you get your back office, you'll get the back office. Okay, but there's only going to be one page that you can see right there, and it will have 10 questions. And you'll go through those 10 questions, and that will either, by the time you get done with those 10 questions and answer the answer true or false, and you can't fail the test, because if you pick the wrong answer, it tells you, and go back and read it and pick the right answer. But what it does is it gives you our mission statement, and it vets you out, because you're either going to agree with what you're reading and say, oh my gosh, I want in. Here's my $10, and you'll send that to admin. Okay, you'll send that to admin. That's the only money he's now charging for the first time in 2 years. But he's doing it because he feels that will keep the people involved, even though it's just $10. But there's other things that he's doing. And I don't have time to go into that, but they're in my past videos. So just look up some of my past videos. You'll find out how the cookie reward system works, how you can get a full coin, even though the coin is so expensive. It's worth $8.4 million right now since we switched over to gold, blah, blah, blah. But we can get you coins, okay? We can actually get you coins for free. Not us. We won't give you the coins. We won't discount our coins, but admin will do it. All you have to do is do a little work. Open up your mouth and talk. Help us grow our community, and he will reward you. Or spend some money on some real Kringles at the real Kringle price of that day, and he'll give you a reward for it. Okay? I'm not going to get into the details of that right now. I want to talk about a few other things. Okay, so let me think if I finished what I was talking about so far. Okay, so the vetting system is what I finished up with, and that is you will either want to spend that $10 or you'll say no. This doesn't sound like it's for me. So you'll just walk away without spending a dime because we don't want your money. Okay? In fact, admin won't even take fiat currency. You'll have to pay him in Bitcoin at $10. Or he accepts Litecoin and Ethereum. Okay, so, but anyway, okay, so that's how the system works, and it's absolutely incredible. Okay, so let's see if there's anything else I wanted to touch on. I know I forgot a couple of things I wanted to touch on, but first of all, let me go back and say hi to everybody who's watching right now. Hey, Stephen Coffey. Hey, Miss Medlock. How you guys doing today? Hope you're all having a great day. Romeo, Musa. Let's see if I can see anybody else. That's all I can see right now. Thank you guys for being here and supporting us. Well, that's what we're doing. We're supporting each other, right? And for watching. Okay, what I want to do is I want to talk a little bit about this blog from a while back. It was one of the first blogs, and the name of the blog is called "Human Farming is Evil," and it has a video, and I'll probably post that video in the description below this when it gets out. Okay. Now he starts out with this particular blog, and he says. This is admin talking through his blog system. Back in, let's see, when was this? This was still April 25 of 2016, okay? Oh, I know what I wanted to tell you before I get into this was the fact that when we switched over to gold, we basically doubled the price of our coin, okay? Because the euro is €1, which in dollar is about $1.40, okay? So if we have 3.2 million people, the coin was worth 3.2 million euros. The smallest unit of gold is a grain of gold. Okay, it's smaller than a gram. It takes 480 grains of gold to equal a troy ounce. So what is the value of 1 grain of gold? If every person now that joins no longer raises it by €1, but it raises it by 1 grain of gold, what is the value of that grain of gold right now? According to the price of gold, that value is $2.80. So we basically doubled the price of our coin overnight by just switching its value and basing it on the price of gold. Okay, it just doesn't make sense at this point to keep using a fiat currency to base the value of something that we have that is real money. Okay, common sense and logic again. Okay, so that's how we doubled the price of our coin, and that's what it's going to be. So instead of our coin ending up 1 billion euros per coin, when we get to our first billion people, it will be worth, if the price of gold stays the same as it was, same as it is today. And if it will be that way when we hit our first billion, which should be in 2 to 3 years at the most, then the coin will be worth, one coin will be worth $2.8 billion. So one coin, if you had just one coin, will make you a multi-billionaire. Okay, so back to this blog. Let me read it real quick. It's a short blog. He talks out because there is a video associated with. He says this video may be a bit deep for many of you watching it. It also specifically identifies the evil perpetrated against the American people. Yet this evil is worldwide, and every country is guilty of human farming. Don't confuse human farming with human trafficking, which is also evil. Human farming is what governments do in the name of the law. The people of this earth have been enslaved, and the farmers have cleverly convinced their livestock, you and I, that we are free. Wake up, people. Human farming is not freedom. Human farming is evil. If you want true freedom, then as an individual, you must stand up for freedom. Okay? And then that's important to me. I'm going to stop right there. That's important to me because I've always said that we, the people, have the power. If we all just got together and came together as a community of just people who want to eliminate all this evil that is been created by this lie of scarcity, and eliminate poverty in the world, then we can do it, can't we? There's nothing we as people cannot do when we come together. Stand up for something, for the same thing, we get it done. Okay, let me go back and continue. TBC, through its membership agreement, allows you the opportunity to fund your own freedom by uniting with others globally that want to fund their freedom too. There you go. Okay, I'll go on. When the 1% of the global population have more wealth than the other 99% of the people globally combined, as is the case now in 2016. Okay, and that's a fact, people. It allows this evil the strength to do anything it wishes to do without any real resistance. Evil left unchecked allows results in death. No, always results in death. And you have been marked to die a horrible and unnatural death at the hands of this monstrous evil. Are you as dumb as cattle? No, you're not, are you? That's me saying that. He goes on, are you going to be led without any resistance to your own destruction? He's just giving us something to think about, right? Has the current system blinded you from seeing the truth? Well, I'll admit it certainly did with me. Now, I wasn't quite as blinded as most others because I did have an education on the system. But there was nothing I could do. And because everybody else believed in it, and this propaganda has just been driven down our throats, without a doubt, I had a scarcity mindset. Okay, I didn't see any solutions, so therefore I never tried to teach my brain what abundance looked like. It was just a dream. Something like, well, I hope I get the right job, or I hope I open up the right business, or I hope I could do this or do that and make a lot of money, be wealthy, because it looks really horrible to, be struggling every month. Like I see all these people to try to pay their bills and survive month to month. Okay. So I had that scarcity mindset, and that is not an easy thing to get rid of. Okay. I still have some of it, and it's been a whole year that I've been working with gaining that abundant mindset. Okay, so he goes on and says, has the current system blinding you from seeing the truth? And then, yes, it definitely has. Okay. For your sake, I hope not, he says. There is a better way for humanity to go. As it has been said, know the truth, and the truth shall set you free. Seek the truth, and surely you shall find it. Help your fellow man to also know the truth. Understand that the 99% outnumber the 1%. And that is our power. We can peacefully unite without enticing violence. You see it right now under Trump and the Patriots. So don't tell me it can't happen. I've always known that. I just haven't known how to bring the people together. But this is a small world compared to what it was just because of the internet, right? So yeah, start believing it. Okay. Violence never serves the 99%. It only serves the 1%. The ultimate answer to our dilemma is love. It's the only answer. When humanity gravitates towards love, it will shelter the homeless. It will feed the hungry. It will clothe the naked. And it will free the captive from bondage. Wealth has a purpose. Wealth should be used to lift all of humanity out of the misery it has only known. You do have the right to make an agreement regardless of what country you are from. You were born with the right to make agreements. Your journey within the TBC community starts out with an agreement. The membership agreement of TBC will lead you to great wealth. Some of you will become billionaires, and many of you will become millionaires. While the price of TBC goes up effortlessly by design, your ability to sell TBC coins will require an effort from you. Buying TBC coins is the easy part of your personal wealth creation within this special community. Now keep in mind, this was back in their first year. In fact, within their first month. Okay. Collectively, the community can spread wealth virally throughout the entire world until its membership exceeds 1 billion members. At that point, humanity can be freed from the shackles of human farming. Humanity can completely mature into a state of universal prosperity and abundance. This is as it should be. We are not meant to live in bondage. We each have a unique purpose and each have been given the gifts needed to fulfill that purpose. Within the TBC community is not forced. It's by invitation only. Yet through active participation within the TBC community, we will each learn better how to love one another until there is no more poor and hungry among us. That is our mission. The TBC coins are simply a tool to teach us how to treat one another in a much better way. Disbelief and fear are the main things that hold you back from a world that is filled with joy and happiness. Practice being strong. Show everyone that comes in contact with you love, and your reward will be a meaningful life. It may not be easy to take this journey, but I promise you it will be worth it. Okay, that's just one blog. But it goes to let you know that we get our understanding from the creators of this coin. We get an education. It helps with these blog posts to change our mind from that scarcity mindset to an abundant mindset, which is critical to the success of what our mission is. Okay, so I'm going to leave you with that. I've been on long enough. Thank you guys for hanging in there. Please get involved. If you're not already involved, please get involved. Check us out. You're either going to love us or you're not. Okay? It won't cost you a dime to find out. Okay? So let's see, what's tomorrow? Saturday? Oh, I'm almost positive I'll be here again tomorrow. Same time, same place, same channel. 5 p.m. Pacific Daylight Standard Time. And again, thank you all for watching, listening, and I hope you got something out of this. And hopefully we'll have some good stuff again to talk about tomorrow, because there's just so much. There's just so much, you know, and I can talk for hours, but I got other things to do. I need to eat. Okay. Thank you guys. I love you all, and I'll see you tomorrow.